Aim direct. Oh, good. We got the overlay fixed now. No more question marks. Spawning here in the top left corner of Prion Terraces, one of the newer maps. I've played this map a couple times as well. Go over the gold bases and whatnot in a moment. In the top left, it's going to be the Red Jaren player up 1-0 in the series. Reality. And his opponent in the bottom right. Got caught with that drop. Didn't get a lot of damage game one. We'll see if he can turn it around here in map 2. It's freaking Salvation. And of course, once again, hopefully these will fix themselves past 10 minutes. I don't know, we'll find out. But Prion Terraces is a very interesting map to me. First off, I'll say this outright. Look at this. At first glance, can you even tell that this is 3 layers of terrain? It doesn't look like it. This is highest level, this is second level, and this is bottom level. It's not too well sorted in my opinion, and honestly, with the tile set being this sort of, I don't know, ire/brown. Oh, that's a huge pylon down there. It's really hard to actually tell sometimes. So the first time I played this map, I actually thought there was no high ground. I was an idiot, and I was just like, what the fuck? But anyways, this is the gold base map is what it's going to be referred to as, I'm sure. Your natural base, pretty normal, pretty dandy. You got a decent sized ramp here. You can wall off fairly easily, but gold base is in the middle. Gold base is at your third. I mean, as you extend outwards, there's normal bases, which is weird to consider. But at the same time, it's the gold bases that are also the most exposed and easily harassed from outside. So I'm not too sure just how big of a deal gold bases will or will not be, but we'll find out as time goes on. People saying, huh, you should ask Salvation how to pronounce your name? Guys, please. Like Salvation knows how to pronounce his own new name. It does look like in the straw poll, though, it's majorly in the favor of, like, Forte, like, hooray, instead of Fort, like, pillow fort. So if it's Forte, I'll stick with it, but, I'll probably poke him and ask. Anyways, Reaper for Reaper fight out here. I'll walk up this ramp, probably with no problem. With the Hellion coming out, he's not gonna be able to stick around long. Nor with that second Reaper there. Man, I love this new game music, by the way, like, oh. I know that the Heart of the Swarm music came out the gate strong, it was really epic, and it had a couple of epic tunes that stayed epic, but over time it grew stale and old. I really hope the Legacy of the Void music doesn't, because it's so just, the percussion's there, it sounds epic, it's awesome. Nice juke out of Forte. Goes right past the Reaper, catches the Watchtower, realizes this juked up and slipped behind him, but the Hellion's not going to catch it. The 2 Reapers aren't going to catch it. He's going to head back towards the main. Now, this Reaper is probably not too intent on doing damage, but more so surviving/scouting. Other side of the field, a couple Marines and a Hellion coming out should be okay, but again, 2 Reapers with that new grenade ability are not going to be fun to deal with, pretty much no matter how you spin it. There's the incredibly unnecessary epic music, but they know the fight's coming. Hellions and a couple Reapers. If they really want to get tricky, you can actually leapfrog these Hellions over the supply depots by using one of those brand new grenades. But using the grenades as offensive cooldowns is fine as well. 10 damage a shot. Marines can't get healed up. Hellions might get repaired a bit, but really not a lot getting done. In fact, losing a Hellion here on the defense. Counterattack. Looks like that Reaper killed about 3 SCVs. Widowmine and some splash damage takes down that Banshee, plus another SCV mining gas. So pretty nicely done here out of Forte, aka Salvation. In fact, does he lose anything? Not a single SCV died on the other side of the map. The 2 Reapers to the Hellion, that's pretty impressive. Now, he did lose a little bit more. His own Hellion did go down, but still, at the end of the day, he killed quite a bit. And Reality finds himself at a small, emphasis here on small disadvantage. Banshee coming across the map, though, looking to make up some of that lost damage. There's going to be a turret down, though, so I don't know how much it can really get done. Shots fired on the Banshee. Does get taken out. Nice job with that Viking. Unfortunately, Hellion does get caught in the tailwind of the Widowmine in the middle of the map, so it's only going to be 2, and frankly, 2 Hellions is not that powerful. 3 will not one-shot workers, but 3 will be enough to really walk around and do a good chunk of damage. But with only 2, you're not going to get a lot done. So going to meet up with the other 2. 4 is going to be more than enough to get in there. People are calling this, dubbing this the ultimate Artosis pylon. I mean, if this was the only thing powering Ire, maybe you're correct, but I don't know. Income heavily in the favor of Salvation, aka Forte, as the game's going on. We can see that very clearly here, thanks to the graphs, which is awesome. Actually, we can see the army dip as well, where he started losing those Hellions and the Reapers. Again, These graphs are pretty cool, and there's a lot of ways to use them when there's the downtime, the boring periods of the game, but we're hopefully going to have this mod work and not break, and that'd be great! SCVs in the main getting corralled around. A couple siege tanks should be able to defend this. Hellions, though, slip by into the natural. This goes on. SCVs get pulled a little bit too late. Oh, lined up perfectly for these shots from those Hellions. 6 workers go down. 7 workers go down. You can actually kill the Marines here fairly easily. Just got to micro back through really low Hellions. Put that big one with health on the front line. Ah, man, this got a little bit messy here. And Salvation, well, he floundered in game number 1. Has certainly found his edge here in map 2. Reality down by almost half the worker count. 24 SCVs to 42. 12 workers have died, and a later expansion really caught him off guard in this game. 2 Marines also going to push back SCVs mining once again in the main. While not losing more this time, still losing mining. Meanwhile, on the side of the map at Salvation, Forte, who's got that 3rd CC ready to go, turning into an orbital as we speak. The only question remains, really, does he take the quote-unquote safer gold or the other gold? They're both going to be kind of gross to take. I personally don't favor this one just because it is down the middle of the map, but this one's also got that other wide opening. It's an interesting map, and frankly, I don't like it. I'm going to be completely blunt about this. I think of all the new maps, this is not the worst. Don't get me wrong. I just don't like the layout for it, and I don't like that they're trying to push golds in this sort of... this, how do you phrase it? This age where we've all decided gold bases are not so good. We're going to watch Zerg players like No Regret really abuse maps like this, and that's kind of cool, but I don't know that gold bases for thirds really make for a better game, to be quite honest. In fact, with Legacy of the Void economy being what it is, I actually think it's terrible because you're going to mine out of that third so quickly. Now, maybe that's a good thing, because the faster you mine out of your third, the less you have to defend it, but either way, we'll see how time evolves this map. I was wrong about a lot of other maps when it came to things like Deadwing and such, so I'd be totally fine if I was wrong about this one, but the smaller map that it is, I don't love the amount of golds available on it. Small update from Zombie God. Looks like she might just be able to get online soon, which is nice. And there's that 3rd CC getting taken. Now keep in mind, folks, if you don't already know, mules do not mine faster from gold bases. And these tanks getting dropped aren't going to work out. Those auto turrets out of reality are going to be great. Salvation tries to get a couple of his own in there, but a little bit too late to the party. Unloading his tanks into the line of fire like that, perhaps not fully aware of that 1.5 second delay. If you unload a siege tank, it does not get to shoot immediately. It basically has to wait what is almost the cooldown of an entire shot before it can fire. So there are situations where it's good and better to unload tanks. That was not one of them, especially with the deficit that he had. Vikings and the Raven going to just kind of lead the charge back home, chasing down not just the Banshee, but also potentially picking off medevacs in the wait. Got to be careful, though. There's going to be Marines on the ground. Upgrades for Salvation also finishing up here massively ahead of his opponent. He's going to have 1-1 on his side, which is going to go a long way when it comes to Marine fights. So far, so good on the graphs not breaking. When kind of just exactly what we already know, though. Salvation with a huge, huge economic lead in this game. 3rd CC going to be driven off as Reality tries to take this on location. He's almost certainly not going to... Well, actually, he might... Yeah, he's going to cancel it. I was going to say he might be able to save it with the army being right there, but a little bit too slow to the fight. More barracks coming down. Gold base hopefully going to save him in this game, but let's not forget, Salvation, aka Forte, already has his own gold base as well, so it's not like one of these guys is... or it's not like Reality's falling behind. For someone who took game 1 so easily, I'm still a little bit shocked to see this go so poorly for him in map number 2, but... his attacks have not made a lot of sense and not really worked out. Yeah, worker count severely in favor of Forte as the game's been going on. Army count also looking fantastic. See a couple of these dips for bad fights were taken. Combat Shields finishes up here in just a second, so these Marines are going to be fully upgraded. The extra 10 health goes a long way when it comes to these Marine fights. Not to mention they can soak a couple of tank shots, which is always nice. Picking up one of the Marines, middle of the map, but really it was one of the scouting Marines just kind of send out to see where the army is. Scanning forward to see what's going on. This command center still not finished yet. That's some bad news bears for Reality. Drop of the main 2 Marines going to focus on a +1 weapons upgrade. Oh, huge denial. I would almost argue game ending denial because he's not going to be able to take many good fights. These Marines have combat shields over his opponent, but he doesn't have siege tanks, so falling back from the location. He needs a couple auditors to maybe buy himself some time, but Reality is going to lose a lot in the main. He's going to lose some of these, he's going to lose production. He lost a lot of the SCVs. That +1 weapons got denied. So while this attack towards that third base was not too fruitful for Forte, he is going to get a huge advantage here in the main, starting to focus on some of that production. He knows his Marines are hugely advantageous. He sees no combat shields on his opponent, and he knows that he can take these fights to stand his ground. Siege tank does get picked off. No tech lab on this factory. No more siege tanks coming out. Reactors have mostly been picked off. There's still 1 or 2 remaining, but this barracks even is burning. Chasing down some of these Marines, just backing up. He does have to defend his own location down here to the main. I don't know if he's going to be in nearly as much trouble, though. Both players are going to be trading out base for base. Not quite base trade situation, but Salvation's got SCVs to pull, and he's going to do it. Both the SCVs into the fight. Soaks a lot of the hits. The Marines with those superior upgrades, just with a huge concave, completely cleans up reality. A small attack is natural, but nothing to really sweat. Meanwhile, his production has been completely compromised. Good game's going to get called, and Forte will take map number 2, tying up the series 1-1.